Hey everyone, welcome back to Eye on the Time. I've had a little too much caffeine today, but that kind of fits with our watch that we're looking at today because it's from a company called Brew. And they're probably most famous for their metric, which I've had a few of those slip through my fingers. I've been trying to get a hold of one, just didn't quite work out. But we do have another model that we're going to take a look at today. And yeah, I'm excited about it. Brew is from New York, and it's pretty cool watch company. They have some pretty interesting designs, pretty really cool designs, including the one that we're going to look at today. Um, I'll give you a little bit of the history from their about section on their website, and then we'll dive into the watch that we're looking at today, which is the Retrograph. So yeah, let's dive into it. So you can pause here if you want to read the entire thing for yourself. But basically, Brew watches are inspired by the colors and brushing finishes you'll find on espresso machines. And they each have like their own industrial nature and invented aesthetics on the sides, case backs, and crowns. And they're just really designed to take his passion for savoring the moments of, taking a break and enjoying a coffee. Um, and combine that with watches, his passion for watchmaking, and just really combine them into one. And this is at the bottom here. This is the founder and designer, Jonathan Ferrer. From what I've heard, he's a super nice guy. I think he's a brilliant designer. If you've seen any of Brew's watches, I think you'd probably agree. But with that being said, let's move on to the actual watch. All right, so here we have inside this case the Brew Retrograph Technicolor. Now, this is an aftermarket case, and it's also on an aftermarket strap from Strapsco. But none of that matters because the star of the show is the watch itself. And oh my god, look at how beautiful that is. Just take a second to soak that in. Probably use a bit of a shine up. This is a used model, of course, as most of my watches are. But this is still in very good condition. Let's see if we can improve it any real quick. This is just absolutely stunning in person. This is a Strapsco bracelet, sort of a leather rubber look. So 22 millimeter is the lug width. The case diameter is 38 millimeters across, 41.5 millimeters tall. And the case thickness is a nice, slim 10.4 millimeters. Got the nice signed crown there, the Brew logo. Got the two pushers for the chronograph. 316L stainless steel, sapphire crystal. And the stock strap is dark blue leather, quick release. Of course, I don't have that. The dial is matte blue with silver subdials, which are a 60-minute subdial at the 9 o'clock and a 24-hour subdial at the 3 o'clock. Water resistance is 50 meters or 5 atmospheres, and it uses a hybrid mecha quartz chronograph movement. They don't specify which movement it is exactly. But the design for the retrograph chronograph was to create a utilitarian retro timing device that can be used for measuring increments over periods of time, specifically for an espresso shot in the range of 25 to 35 seconds, which is indicated by this yellow section down here. And then they go on to say, as well as other durations that can be tracked with the 60-minute timer, so in the 9 o'clock position. One thing that I do not like about this watch, and it's the only thing I don't like about this watch, I'll just be straight up. The 24-hour timer at the 3 o'clock. I'd rather see that be like a small seconds display, and I can't take full credit for that. I saw another reviewer state that as well, and I have to agree with them. I'd rather see that be like a small seconds, a running seconds at the 3 o'clock position. But we got this nice symmetrical date window at the 6 o'clock. Very nicely done. Love the way it's framed. Love the way the watch is shaped and rounded. Very, very nice. Just got some details etched into the back here. And we will throw it on. Now I went ahead and threw it on the wrist here, just kind of give you an idea how it looks on the wrist. From the side, it's pretty nice. Let's back the camera out a bit. I always do that the wrong way. So hopefully you can get some kind of idea. This is on my 7.5-inch wrist. And this bracelet is a little bit loose, or the strap is a little bit loose, so it's not fitting the tightest, but very, very nice, cool watch. The pushers, very, very smooth. And we'll stop it and we will reset, snap straight back. So the chronograph function works very, very well. And let's talk about the price of this. It is $375 US at retail. Comes with a standard 12-month manufacturer warranty. Just your standard manufacturer defects or anything. But they do say the 12-month warranty should require any servicing or assistance. They're always available to repair or replace it for you. And they ship their watches through FedEx worldwide. And if you aren't completely satisfied with the piece, you have 2 weeks to return it for a full refund, as long as it's in unworn and in the original packaging. So, seems like a pretty good deal. The 2 weeks to return, I'm biased because I really, really like this watch, but I highly doubt you'll be returning this. I don't think you will at all. This is a very, very nice watch. And this is secondhand. I can only imagine how it looks fresh out of the box, the finishing wise. Because this one's quite a bit dinged up, honestly. But fresh out of the gate, fresh out of the box, from the factory, I'm sure this thing is just absolutely stunning because it is already in a worn condition. Last thing I want to mention is on Brew's website, there are plenty of straps available for this watch, including a stainless steel bracelet. So if you want to change up the look, you always can. And of course, this is an aftermarket one from Straps Co. So there's plenty of options if you want to change up the look with this piece. So this is the actual square watch itself without the bracelet. Extraction timer there at the bottom, that will be the yellow extraction timer for the espresso shot, I believe. But let's just do this on its own. Very cool. Okay, so you can just see it there. There is the faintest bit of lume. The faintest bit. Let me cover up that red light. It is the faintest bit of lume on the minute and hour hands. and even on the indices as well. So not the greatest lume, but it's there. And let's get the lights back on and let's wrap this up. That's going to wrap it up for High End Time today, guys. I just want to add that in part of the review, I don't know if I'm going to keep it in or not. I did take the strap off of the watch to just as part of the review. And even though it's a quick release, I had a hell of a time getting it back on the watch. So that's something you might want to watch out for. Um, Again, I don't know if I'm going to keep that part in or not. Just be on the lookout for that. That's the one negative I would say about the watch. And I don't know if that was necessarily the watch itself or the strap. But that's the one downside that I do have. Otherwise, I think it's a fantastic watch, the Brew Retrograph. And, like most of these watches, I'm going to move on from it just because I have to for one reason or another. But it's one that I really do want to get again. And at $375, it's pretty cheap. And, used, you can find them even cheaper. Full disclosure, I picked this one up used for $200, and I think it's worth every penny. So let me know what you guys think of Brew watches in the comments down below. And yeah, just what do you think of their design? What do you think of some of their other models? And let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And until next time, keep an eye on the time.